Hello my friends, I'm Lucas and you are watching coldemonspl How to Paint series. For today's episode I've prepared some spare tracks. All we know that most of the tanks have pieces of tracks that are transported there for repairing or replacement. In some vehicles more, in others less. Generally the quantity is different, so our models also have some. Another option are pieces of tracks that are transported as additional armor. I mean especially situation like on this Sherman Firefly, which was published in AK's book British at War. You can see how much you can diversify the model. Different amounts of rust and mud do the job, right? Okay, let's go to work. First of all, a good container so as not to make too much mess. What you can see here is a piece of plastic box. I cut off the lid and I have a container perfect for a short piece of track. The first thing you need to do is to thoroughly clean the track surfaces of all dirt and possible grease. I used the model degreaser for this, which I mentioned earlier in the episode about painting the Tiger. It dries quickly and it's effective, so working with it takes only a few moments for such a small element as today's one. As soon as this piece is clean and dry, we can start to put on the metal burnishing. Of course it can be any other liquid for blackening the metal. Each one works the same. See how fast it works. The white dots are the plastic plugs in the holes where the wire sits. If they weren't there, the ends of the wires would look ugly, so I covered them with a small disc punched from plastic. Of course they don't change the color after contact with the blackening solution. The most important thing is to cover all visible surfaces. From the top, when the track is in place on the model, you will see some of the outside, so you need to apply a bit of liquid here as well. To dry this piece, all you need is a paper towel. Then, once we wipe off the liquid, we can use a hair dryer. This will greatly speed up the entire drying process. Please don't get burned because it's very easy to do. Now we can paint the previously mentioned plugs. Dark brown would be a perfect color match. We can also replenish all places where the liquid for blackening didn't reach. Some small tip: if you don't have liquid, just paint the links with dark brown as you can see here. Yes, for those who are interested, look at them. Do you see which ones are painted? Third from the right and second from the left. Not bad, isn't it? And now the proper fun with rust. Do you remember the paint I used to make the exhausts? Now we will apply exactly the same colors, but not with an airbrush but with a brush. To tell the truth, I was a bit afraid of the effect. I wasn't quite sure how these paints would behave on the brush. But check it out how easy it is to work with them. I think that a big advantage is the rough and matte surface on which the paint spreads nicely. These 3 shades are enough. The number of layers is the key. If there will be more layers, the more contrasting the shade on individual links will be. Such a tip: paint single links, don't apply the entire section with one paint. In this way it will look more natural and interesting. Remember that your work will be covered with dust at the end, so plan wisely and paint all surfaces. Well, now a moment of relaxation. Look how I'm putting the colors on different elements. Okay, let's make some drying. Don't get burned. A little bit of oil paints to vary the effect. I dilute individual colors with a thinner to apply very small amounts to single links. Different sizes, shapes and color intensity are the key to the success. You can paint, tap, speckle, also you can use a sponge, the choice is yours. The big advantage is that the oil paint can be spread and washed off for a long period of time. Look at this color. In the beginning there was a lot more of it and now there is only half of what was at the beginning. In addition, it will get a little rusty shade. Right now. Cool, isn't it? Now some speckling of light grey and then rust. Small amount are enough. We don't care about splashing the whole track set because it will look ugly. Remember to check first how the paint behaves during speckling. Only then put it on the model. You also need to apply some rust on the inside. When I was already working with oil paints, I continued with them. It is possible that this fragment is completely covered with some elements of equipment, but we will see it during the final finishing of the model. For now, all sides must be completely finished so that there are no places to be ashamed of. And finally a bit of dust and dried up mud. With this paint it won't be difficult and I will even say it is very easy. First some speckling and later we will probably put some mud there, but such effects are never enough. And now we put paint in the nooks and crannies. Let's say it's the matte wash around the details. The most important places are around the guide teeth. As you can see, everything is based on small amount tapped close to where the paint was applied, so as not to cover all the work we've done with the rust. Of course, we also put a little dust on the back. Finally, drying is done and the element is ready. Do you like it? Write what do you think about it in the comments. I hope you will try my method on your model and it will bring nice results. Next time when the opportunity arises, I will try to prepare a painting method using standard oil paints and pigments. The effect will be slightly different but also worth attention. In the next episode we'll prepare the entire tracks and it will be another how to paint movie. But this time we'll finish them off with heavy dark mud, from the very beginning until ready to be applied to the model. So stay tuned for the next episode. So far, thank you for the meeting and okay, that's all for today, see ya next time. Please consider to give me a like, it also would be nice to read your comments and see more channel subscriptions. Just click that red button below. Thank you very much.